Welcome to the Vintage Hollywood Archive. Rita Moreno has had a flourishing career of more than 70 years of acting in Hollywood. She has an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. But Rita Moreno never thought of her life or her career as being documentary-worthy. How Rita Moreno's revenge made Marlon Brando insanely angry. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Vintage Hollywood Archive channel. Rita Moreno dishes Marlon Brando was a much better lover than Elvis Presley. An affair with Elvis to make Marlon Brando jealous. Rita Moreno is a living legend. The Puerto Rican actress has lived a star-studded life, starring in major blockbusters and onstage productions throughout her more than 60-year career. Rita Moreno has it all: tough, talented, and as beautiful inside as she is on the outside. Plus, there's that infectious, anything-goes personality that's enthralled her fans throughout her years in showbiz. She is a multi-hyphenate star, actress, singer, dancer, has never suppressed that effervescent smile in the face of decades of racism, typecasting, and a rape by her agent she feared reporting because of a lifelong battle with self-esteem. Yet she fought on, fierce, undeterred, and unbending, displaying a resolve most of us can only dream of possessing. She'd happily trade the accolades for the respect she rarely acquired from movie producers repeatedly attempting to pigeonhole her into ethnic roles, playing the other, the victim, the lesser. She bordered on a racial stereotype that rightfully drew criticism from fellow Puerto Ricans who already had a hard enough time fending off bigotry. Never, though, did she sacrifice her pride and dignity in going along to get along. But behind that seemingly unsuppressed joyousness lurks a dark side she's kept well hidden. Infidelity is a leading cause for the end of romantic relationships for celebrities and everyday people alike. The difference for celebrities is that these indiscretions often become fodder for headlines and fan speculation. The lack of privacy and the constant speculation over whether or not a person is being faithful can add extra pressure to celebrity relationships. Rita Moreno opened up about her life in the spotlight and made it clear that these kinds of issues didn't come into the picture with the rise of social media and the internet's ever-present slate of celebrity gossip. She was in a relationship with Marlon Brando in the 1950s and suspected infidelity was the downfall of their time together. Moreno was born in 1931 in Puerto Rico. She moved to New York from Puerto Rico when she was 6. The cold, bitter winters of the Northeast were the least of her discomforts, not when she routinely faced racism and name-calling. By the time she was 11, she was already working as a performer. She was paid to dub lines for Spanish versions of U.S. movies. Little did she know such smears would continue through much of her life, both in New York and later in Hollywood, where the then 13-year-old Broadway performer was brought by Louis B. Mayer. She got an early start in show business, appearing on Broadway when she was in her early teens. A month before she turned 14, she made her Broadway debut, co-starring in the play Skydrift. Moreno was already on her way to the top, and her career would prove how talented she is. Despite a lack of roles in the era for actors who were considered exotic, Moreno made a name for herself. She was a trailblazer who broke ground for Latinx people in entertainment. In 1961, she landed the role that would go on to define the rest of her career, but Moreno had high hopes and goals she wanted to accomplish. "I really wanted to be Elizabeth Taylor. Little did I know there wasn't a chance in hell of something like that happening," she expressed. When asked if it was because she's Latina, she instantly replied, "Yeah." Aided by a plethora of snapshots and archival clips, she had the many ups and downs of ensuing movie career, which enjoyed tremendous highs as well as back-breaking lows. Even after winning her Oscar, Moreno said she found few opportunities beyond playing dark-skinned characters, as she previously did in films like The King and I, The Yellow Tomahawk, and Latin Lovers. At one point, she simply walked away, content to do summer stock and television. Her career has been long and impressive, and it's not over yet. She recently had a role in the popular sitcom One Day at a Time. Along the way, she's not only collected awards and acclaim, but also a few hearts. Playing Anita in West Side Story helped launch Moreno into fame. The film showcased her wide range of talents that included singing, dancing, and acting. She once again made musical history by becoming the first Latina to win Best Supporting Actress for her role in the musical. It certainly wouldn't be the only award that Moreno would earn. In fact, she is one of the few entertainers who has managed to achieve EGOT status. She received a Grammy for her work with The Electric Company in 1972, a Tony for her work in The Ritz in 1975, and Emmy Awards in 1977 and 1978. But Moreno's personal life was marked with some high-profile relationships. While Moreno's acting career has made for a very storied past, her relationships with fellow old Hollywood actors have as well, especially her on-again, off-again romance with entertainment legend Marlon Brando. Long before he became known for his iconic role in The Godfather, Brando dated Moreno. Rita Moreno spoke about how she had a really tumultuous relationship with Brando, on and off, for around 7 years. She called Marlon Brando a womanizer, as she recollected how she could not deal with the relationship any longer, which she wanted to be perfect for him. Moreno also spoke of her suicide attempt. She stated that it put an end to her relationship with him, which is what it was meant to do, according to her. She wanted to be Marlon Brando's wife, but he reportedly went to great lengths to keep their relationship a secret. During the golden age of Hollywood, both Moreno and Brando were two of the biggest movie stars in the industry, so it was only a matter of time before they crossed paths and eventually started working together. The pair met in 1954 on the set of Brando's Napoleon biopic Desiree, in which he played the lead character. Moreno, who was only 22 years old at the time, was immediately taken with the icon-to-be, and soon the pair became involved in a romantic affair that lasted many years. Just meeting him that first day sent my body temperature skyrocketing, as though I had been dropped into a very hot bath, and I went into a full-body blush. It was the sort of rush that inspires poetry and songs. From the moment we met, I felt that a web had been spun between us, drawing me to Marlon, she explained. Amazingly, he felt the same way and made no secret about it. Though Brando was a great lover and made her feel things she hadn't with anyone else, Moreno saw that the actor would become a different person at times, one whose actions would hurt her extensively. He broke my heart and came close to crushing my very spirit with his physical infidelities and, worse, with his emotional betrayals, she shared. But she couldn't stay away from Marlon Brando. But despite Brando not giving her all of his love during their affair and breaking her heart time and time again, she couldn't stay away from him. I was becoming addicted to the challenge of winning him over and over again. Though they were engulfed in a passionate love affair, Moreno revealed that Brando cheated on her frequently while they were together. He had even gotten married and fathered his wife's children during his relationship with the West Side Story actress. Their relationship was extremely sensual, but admitted that she was searching for love that she'd never get. Marlon was the classic example of looking for acceptance from someone who is incapable of giving it. But their relationship fizzled after finding random lingerie in his house. I found somebody's lingerie in Marlon's house one time, and I was just devastated. Literally the next day, I get a phone call, Moreno remembered. She was deeply hurt that he dated other women. Then, one day, an opportunity to get back at him called her on the phone. That call was Elvis Presley's agent letting Moreno know that the music star liked what he saw when he got a glimpse at her. She decided to pursue it, and Brando was not pleased. Literally the next day, I get a phone call. Rita Moreno, this is Colonel Parker. My client spotted you in the 20th Century Fox commissary. He'd like very much to meet you. Moreno knew that Brando would be jealous if she went out with Presley, so she agreed to meet him. She also admitted that her brief fling with Elvis Presley was something of a payback for Brando's infidelity. They went out a few times, and although she didn't find the singer very interesting, the relationship had the desired effect on Brando. Marlon found out about it, and boy was he upset. Mind you, he's the one who had the ladies' underwear at his house. He got insanely angry. He was throwing chairs, and it was wonderful, Moreno explained. My delight in dating Elvis hinged entirely on one fact. I knew that no one could possibly make Marlon Brando more jealous. Like many of his affairs, it wasn't always healthy, and his behavior left Moreno unhappy. She had become pregnant with Marlon Brando's child and went through a botched abortion, after which she had gotten suicidal. Reportedly, Brando arranged for the actress to have an illegal abortion, which ultimately resulted in the fetus dying inside of her. Moreno was rushed to the hospital, as the dead fetus needed to be surgically removed. In fact, by the early 1960s, infidelity destroyed their relationship, with Moreno attempting suicide in Brando's home upon learning about his affair with Rita Moreno, his Mutiny on the Bounty co-star. Brando wed Moreno, his third wife, in 1962, and they welcomed 2 children together. After her recovery, Moreno severed all personal ties. In 1969, she starred beside Brando in The Night of the Following Day. We do this scene and we do the dialogue, and I haul off and smack him in the face, and he hauls off and smacks me back, Moreno described. That opened an old scar of when he'd taken advantage of me, of when he'd had other women. Pond scum came to the surface, and I started screaming at him, and they never stopped filming. The Poppy actor shared how she did not realize at the time that while trying to end a chapter of her life with Marlon Brando, she would have also ended her own life. Speaking of what helped her amidst such times, Moreno revealed that it was therapy, and having the right therapist who suited her best. I was very often treated like a sex object, she recalled. The studio had asked contract players to go out on pretend dates. Before I know it, he's forcing himself on me. When you're in a contract to a studio, they own you. The effects of the relationship were lasting. In her memoir, Moreno revealed that she'd been wearing Brando's favorite perfume. He preferred women's perfume to men's cologne, Balmain's Vin Vert, for over 50 years. When I inhale it, I inhale the memory of Marlon, she wrote, and I can almost feel his smooth, polished skin and taste his sweet breath. Decades after the relationship ended, both Brando and Moreno's homes bore vestiges of their romance. When it came to long-term love, however, Moreno's longest relationship was with someone who didn't turn quite so many heads. She married cardiologist Leonard Gordon, a man who would go on to serve as Moreno's manager. They wed in 1965 and had one daughter, and they remained married until Gordon's death in 2010. That experience, coupled with the discrimination Rita Moreno faced in Hollywood, has made her an advocate for diversity and change throughout her career. As a Latina, Moreno also fought against stereotypical roles and injustices in her profession. All in all, if you ask Moreno, it's been a wonderful life, one in which she overcame many obstacles while remaining true to herself. In the end, she says she always wanted to go big. She did that and more. You might even say, enormous. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here.